In three,
And we're live.
2, and we are live. What's up, THP Universe? It's Goat Cup time. Yeah, it's Goat Cup time. Exciting stuff. Joining me today to talk about all things the Goat Cup is. Am I going to give you the same intro that I've always given you?
I don't care what you do.
Okay. The winner of the 2018 THP Championship and loser of the rivalry, Illiterate, is here. Say hello to the universe, Illiterate.
Good evening, THP Universe.
And for the first time, rookie in the booth. Mmaynard, I'm not going to give you the 11, Granddaddy Captain is here to help us break down all things having to do with this, the Goat Cup with Callaway Golf. So let's talk before we get, we've introduced ourselves. We're letting people come in a little bit. I'll flash the opening odds at the bottom of the screen for y'all. This is a relatively new one on the THP calendar. It doesn't have maybe some of the history of some of the other events that we cover. In fact, this is the first time we've done a preview show for this one. Yeah. Give me some thoughts. I'll start with Illiterate around, what do you think when it's Goat Cup season, when it's time, when the Goat Cup comes around?
Well, I mean, it's another cool event that, we've moved it from Ballyhack, where I think maybe the GOAT name originated from last year, over to Arbor Links this year. A little different style of golf. And, I mean, you think Callaway Golf, obviously, Callaway Golf and THPers. So yeah, it's going to be a great time.
Before I ask Matt what his thoughts on the Goat Cup are, Scoob was a late scratch. It wasn't anything like I didn't renew his contract or something. I didn't like Tucker Carlson him. I just got a message saying that he couldn't make it, and we had to go. 3-man booth today. I'm testing out different booth sizes. I still think that 5's too many. I think that 4 may be the sweet spot, but we went 3-man. For Quest Cup, and we're 3-man here. But I'm testing out. I'm testing out boot sizes. I think 4 is a sweet spot. Mmaynard 11. I wish you would drop that.
What's the 11 stand for?
I mean, at first, either way you look at it, number 1 in front, number 1 in the back. Front and back, always finish in first.
What are your thoughts around Goat Cup?
I'm looking forward to this one. It's something that is, I think, a unique just format. It's a new place that we have not seen from the Dorman Club and the Dorman Network, and I think it's gonna provide a challenge. You start to look at some of that. Well, I know we're going to talk about the participants, but we've got some newcomers, so it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. The weather may be not the best, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, this is, for me, I always like this because it's got one of my favorite people is usually involved here.
Wow.
Everyone. Well,
got fired from THP Golf TV, Matt.
What? Oh, really?
Stand for how many holes you'll play against Finley.
So that's pretty
good. Of these guys here, so they're eating me up already. I'm getting text messages. Okay, let's see how it's going.
Already. So you've got Austin Tudor, you've got Jason Finley, you've got a bunch of THPers. Last year was at Ballyhack. This year we go to Arbor Links. I just, it is a preview for me. We get a little Finley preview before we get to December, which is always, for the odds maker here, is always something that I watch out for, and we'll talk more about that as we get through the show. Dormy Network.
One thing too you didn't mention, Dax, is we had a club bag snafu last year at the Goat Cup.
Oh, yeah,
so
we did.
It's cursed with bag issues getting from their I guess destination and getting to the destination.
Yeah, Scratch Golf Journey's bag has not arrived. I mean,
And last year Finley had to play with a rental set.
Yeah, Finley had to start off with a rental set the first few holes. He played very well, even with the rentals.
He's a lefty too, so what happens there. I know he played today with somebody else's clubs. I'm wondering if how that all plays out, if they arrive in time. He's a lefty.
I mean, I believe it's a sign. If you looked, we'll get to his bag here in a second, but I mean, there's a lot of TaylorMade.
Somebody said bag will be delivered tonight.
There's a lot of
his bag has arrived.
TaylorMade in the top of the bag, 2011 TaylorMade stuff. Maybe it's a sign to get some new stuff. Let's talk. I never miss it. I never miss a chance to bag on TaylorMade. I am not a big fan. Let's talk Dormy Network. Let's talk Arbor Links. These events since THP has been going to Dormy, top notch. Don't have a transfusion. I don't even know if they do transfusions at this one, but for the participants watching, just don't do it to yourself. I tried to, when we were at Valley Hack, Matt, I had one, and then you would think that it was the end of the world, right? Still getting called out for that. Literally, you talked a lot about we talked a lot in the pre-work about the course. It's a link style designed by Arnold Palmer. There's a lot of good things to like. I've watched several videos either on YouTube or on the official website that the links in the odds thread. Bent grass greens, a lot of sloping, some false fronts. I mean, just forced carries. Oh my! It's just like everything that you could imagine from a link setup. What are your thoughts on the course, Illiterate?
I mean, one of the things that stood out to me when I was doing a little bit of research on the courses, the greens kind of reminded me, or, if you missed the greens, it kind of reminded me a little bit of Gaylord, how the greens kind of sit up a little bit and you have to like chip up to them. So I do think, iron play is going to be iron or wedge play is going to be really key here. And there's some pretty demanding, I mean, it is a link style course, but there is some pretty demanding, tee shots, when you look at this thing. And in fact, like, I'm kind of salivating that we get the alt shot if they play the front, where Gaylord's is a million times nicer. Yeah, right. Anyway, if we can get to the last couple holes on the front, those are the two hardest holes on the front on, coming in at 8, I think is the 3 handicap, and 9 is the 1 handicap coming in. So there's pops that could deliver, there in the finish of the alt shot. And then we talked a little bit about the, coming down the stretch on the back 9 too. I mean, it's no bargain coming down. So some really good finishing holes. 18 looks beautiful. And I think we talked about it being the 10 handicap hole, and it's no bargain either. There's a lot of weird shaped bunkers too. I noticed from some of the pictures.
A lot of hourglass greens, a lot of weird shaped bunkers. But it doesn't. And they are places.
Smaller greens,
right? There are places that you can score here, right? Like 6 with the green complex it sits. Depending upon where the pin is, it looks like almost everything will funnel to that hole. On 6,
yeah, it's front to back slope.
Yeah, so in 14 looks like that hole's gettable. If you can find the green on 12, that's another hole that could be gettable. Matt, what were your thoughts when you took a look at Arbor Links?
I think for the most part, if you start to look at some of these par 3s at the distances they're going to play at, a lot of those are pretty gettable. If you can get a ball on the green and your putter gets hot, you can get some birdies there, especially on the back. The backside, those look they're number 18 handicap, and what's the other one? There's a 16. So you've got 2 of the easiest holes, par 3s on the back. So if you can get that match there, you can either put it away, or you can get back into the game on that on those par 3s there. As far as the greens, a lot smaller than what we typically see from a Dormy Network club. You and I both have played Valley Hack. I've played at Dormy Club. Those greens are huge. These seem a little bit more smaller, and a lot of them are guarded by bunkers. So you're going to have your sand game come with you. If not, be a lot of trouble.
You know, what I found interesting is, especially for the singles matches and then the 18-hole shamble, it's like even when the official website is telling you that par is a good score here, like when you watch the 15th hole and they're like, hey, look, it looks pretty straight away, but it requires 2 precise shots and distance control is a must. And the last thing the guy says is par is a really good score here. Yeah, that usually means there's a train wreck that's going to occur when we get the THPers out there. But I'm super excited for that finishing stretch. 15, 16, 17 has got that forced carry over the marsh, and then it's got that diabolical second shot. And then 18, there's like a silo to the left-hand side as you're coming in. I wonder if anyone's going to actually hit the silo. Super excited. We do not know which of the nines the alternate shot section is going to be played on. Any benefit to it to be in the front or the back? What did y'all feel was the easier of the 2 nines? Matt, I'll start with you.
I have to say the front. I think if you start to look at it, that finishing stretch is tough. But I mean, you're going to open up with a par 5, so either you got a good swing right off the bat, or some people were talking about it yesterday that there may be some jitters on that first tee box, and it gives you a little opportunity to ease your way in. Then you've got a small par 4 following that, so you can it can either go good or it's going to go bad right off the bat. So I thought the front set up well for being easier of the 2.
Me too.
That's what I thought as well. Good.
That's good analysis from the rookie here. I think that if I was participating, I would rather this alt shot be on the front, even though 8 and 9 are no bargain. But I will say this, and most of the time, last year in the Goat Cup, like they played 18-hole alt shot. The alt shot stanza was 18 holes. Traditionally in THP universe, these are 9-hole. It's usually the third 9 of the day, and it's a 9-hole sprint to the finish. And a lot of times, no matter how these pairings are mixed and matched, those matches tend to go all the way to the end. And if that's the case, and it's on the front, man, there could be some points at risk on that 9th hole, which will be super excited for us following along at home. Maybe not as much for the participants. Let's move on. Let's talk about what's in the bag. Big deal, small deal, no deal. The participants in this case are playing, a lot of times at events they don't. They're playing some sort of gear from the sponsor, but in this particular case, they're playing their own bag. Is that a big deal, small deal, no deal? I'll start with illiterate.
I mean, I think anytime you can come into an event and you're familiar with the clubs you have, I think it you just have a certain comfort level. So to me, it's a big deal because, I don't know, I think we're all kind of gearheads a little bit. But there is something to be said when you get new stuff, you've been fitted for it, whatever, you kind of have that honeymoon phase sometimes. But yeah, anytime you can come in, especially like with wedges around the greens, putters, things like that, you can come in and already have a feel for is always good in my book. Matt,
what do you think about that? Big deal, small deal, no deal?
Big deal. I think it's, having the opportunity to come in with something you're familiar with. Just like illiterate said, I think it's, it could bode well for some of the participants. However, I know, I put JB's clubs together, so it could be no deal. He may swing a club and that head might go flying, so you never know.
Uh-oh.
Yes. Josh has been on the injury. We'll get to that later. I mean, he's been on the injury report. I think it's a big deal. There is a familiarity that comes with playing your own gear. I have openly questioned some of the gear selection options that some of these guys have in the bag, like the wind grips. Who was that? Trumpet. Yeah. Trumpet. I'm just not sold. The 45 holes is a lot of holes of golf, and unless they're fresh, you may have grip wear, somewhere around day 2, because I know a lot about how quickly those wear out. Let's talk about the teams. Okay, we'll start here. Team Tudor. I'm going to give you this little great section. Their combined cap is on the lower end from what we see a lot in events. Combined handicap 10.5. Okay. I mean, when y'all first saw it, what were y'all's thoughts around this? I'm gonna show it to the viewers on the screen right now. You got Austin at a 1.3. You got USAF retired 6.2. Okay, that has dropped to a 6.2. I got an update yesterday. I'd already done the storyboards here. Trumpet 98, 15, and Scratch Golf Journey, best head of hair in all of THP at 18.9. So you've got two lows here, a mid and sort of a higher end of the equation. Pretty balanced lineup. Matt, what are your thoughts about when you took a look at Team Tudor?
Obviously, they were when I took a look at that lineup, it jumped out to me that they were, they're going to be the lower handicap. It's going to be how they show up and play. I think Austin's game is going to be, we don't see much how they post on forum, but he's coming in and he's a golfer, he's a stick. USAF. Played today. I saw his front score. It got me a little concerned, but I didn't waver, from that. Don't know how he played on the back. And then, Scratch and Trumpet, they both played well today. So it looks like, they're ready to go in this thing.
So he shot a 43, USAF, right? Like he shot a 43 today. I mean, there's nothing to be ashamed in a 43. I mean, was that your concern, or did you actually see the card?
I saw a portion of the card, but it looked like a little scribble. I couldn't really tell, and then I had to, as most people said, I went to the beach, but I was already back from the beach then. So I might have had a little sand in my eye. I don't know. He's gonna play tomorrow. He'll be there. He'll be ready. He'll be ready for Tuesday. So
I think so too. Tuesday's a big day for him. Illiterate. Team Tudor.
Yeah. I mean, obviously you got Austin Tudor, man. Dude is a golfer and plays really, really well. USAF retired 6.2. I mean, shot 43 on the front wherever they played today. I mean, and then you get a couple of higher handicaps that are gonna maybe here's what I always kind of wonder about, like these higher handicaps, if they have to try to fade pops, what does that look like for them? And I mean to me, it really just going to boil down to whose handicap can carry, whose handicap's going to travel, who's going to be able to play, because this course is definitely no bargain.
No, I mean, I think that at the top of their team with Austin and USAF, look, USAF's been in wars before. He's a member of the Hackers World Order. Can't say enough of good things about the guy. It's really Trumpet and Scratch Golf Journey who are the two sort of wild cards here. I did make them a slight favorite. I made them minus 165 basically because I'm going to charge you a little extra vig to get Austin and the lowest high with Scratch Golf Journey on the same team. I'm gonna charge you a little premium to get there. I think they're a solid team, well balanced. Obviously, combined handicap 10.5. So we shall see though, and we're going to talk about. I'll put Team Findlay up. Team Findlay combined handicap 13.6. This 3-stroke spread is on the higher end of what we historically see. Okay, but I mean, it's got a lot of experience. I mean, it's got Darth Findlay himself. I would have made them a favorite. Mainly Josh being on the injured reserve here. Maybe he's not injured reserve, but he's definitely questionable. And you've got Matt building his clubs. He's not taking swings until it's showtime. Right now, I've seen this happen with Josh before. Where he comes in a little hobbled, and then all of a sudden he starts pulling magic, coming off the bench like Willis Reed in the NBA playoffs. Coming out of nowhere. It wouldn't shock me if Josh just did this again. It could all be his injury could all be a work for all we know. It could be just a total work. He's working us, and then all of a sudden, boom, he's out there doing Josh things. They have T Ryan here. I'm sorry, Finley comes in at a 5.4, but Matt, he always plays as adjusted 7 at the Hideaway. If it's at the Hideaway, he's an adjusted 7 there. So just make a note, write it down. Josh is 9.8. T Ron at 15.2. T Ron, if you can't beat him, join him. T Ron is the only person that has ever lost to Finley at the Granddaddy twice. You get an option here when you sign up for this particular event. Decides I'm not gonna be glutton for punishment. I'm just gonna join him, right? Like total Stockholm syndrome going on here, saying, listen, I'm just gonna go with it, right? Like, so I'm gonna do that. And they have a rookie in Outlaw X at 23.9. I'll start with Matt here. What was your analysis of Team Finley?
Well, I thought they would have been made the favorite, to be honest, just based on experience alone and just the playing together. You look at Jason and Josh; they played together quite a bit out there, so I thought they would have been favorite. T Ryan, I played with him. He has those hot and cold moments, but I followed his live round today at his home course, and he was full over on the front. I didn't see what he posted on the back, so that he's based on a 15. He's playing pretty well, just off today. And then Outlaw X, him and I've been going back and forth. He loves the banter, so I think he's one of those guys that's probably gonna come in with a chip on his shoulder, being the height handicap of the group, and you never know when you get somebody poking you can come out and play hot.
One thing I do appreciate, well, the first thing, I think it's very cute that you're calling Mr. Finley Jason. That is a sign that you haven't lost to him yet. So you're still on this first name basis.
That's right.
And I also appreciate the fact that Team Finley has no numbers in their foreign name, right? So that gives, to me, that's a little bit better there. Illiterate. What was your take on Team Finley?
I mean, you look at the combined handicap here, and you see Team Finley was a little bit higher. I mean, I think this may be the highest that Josh has come into an event at, almost at 10 handicap. If that doesn't scream sandbag, I don't know what does. Yeah, I mean, he's going to get some pops, I think, in some of these, the shamble format maybe. And anytime you can get Finley and JB some pops, man, give me that all day. But yeah, JB shows up injured all the time, and then he shoots like 78. So every score posted wild left. Yeah.
Okay.
We've seen you play, Josh.
Yeah.
We know.
Okay.
It's like Finley being a 6.
Well, he's a 5.4 here. Let me switch my. I'm looking at some of the comments. Let me switch my banners. The format. Okay, so let's talk about the format. We talked about the course. We talked about the teams. Now let's talk about the format here. You get 18-hole shamble. Okay. I lobbied. This is best ball. I lobbied for combined score. Josh wasn't as receptive. I do think that at some point, maybe for the THP Championship, that we bring that one has not been used in the equation in quite some time. And combined score is always fun when they go shamble combined score. You get a 9-hole stanza of alternate shot. We don't know which 9 that is, and of course on day 2 we get singles. Matt, this is pretty stock for what we've seen as far as formats go, but I like it. I mean, I like it. I think that most of these Dormy courses lend itself to this type of format, to be honest with you, because of the way that they're laid out. At least what this one looks like on paper. The events that we've watched at Briggs Ranch or Dormy Club or Ballyhack's, a great 18-hole type of situation. What are your thoughts on the format?
I'm glad alt shot's there. Kind of figured it would be. That's one of my favorite formats out there because it's not just one person can just light it up. It's a team. It's a true team format. Shamble, I think it's going to lend. It's Shamble obviously lends the player who gets off the tee better, um, in my opinion. And singles is singles. You kind of I haven't looked at many of the matchups, but you kind of look at the Shamble format. You've got Finley. I'll call him Finley this time, and T Ryan. If T Ryan doesn't hit the ball well, can Finley hold up and carry him?
I mean, we'll talk about the matches. I didn't give match.
Yeah.
We'll talk about matches in a second.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm just talking specifically about the format. I don't think that it favors either team. It's a very sort of, I think this is why we've seen a lot of these type of events with this sort of same format, because I think it lends itself to being very balanced. Leonard, your thoughts on the format before we get to the matches?
I carry the same thoughts as Matt here. Shamble is a great way to kind of kick things off, get people a little bit comfortable. There's not as much pressure on the tee ball for everybody. You get to know the course a little bit there. Then there's a lot of pressure that comes on the tee ball there when you go to alt shot. So alt shot, again, one of the most fun, my favorite format in these events. And then singles, is always a fantastic finish. So yeah, this is probably my favorite setup for sure.
You always put over alt shot, but the closest that any teammates have ever gotten to fisticuffs at a THP event was when me and you were paired together in an alternate shot format, just for the record. Okay. But I know that you love alt shot. Yes. Let's talk about the matches. Let's go. All right. Match 1. Here we go, man. This is such a strange deal. They're on this side. So T-Ron turns heel and joins Finley here. Finley at 5.4. He goes out there with T-Ron at a 15.2 against USAF and Trumpet 6.2. Sorry, I didn't change my storyboards, and Trumpet's a 15. I made Finley and T-Ron minus 180 the comeback on USAF, and Trumpet is plus 155. Matt, we'll start with you. Your thoughts on this match?
That's my thought. It's going to be, I look at this matchup, and this is probably the one that favors. If you start to look at all the matchups, and I know we're going to get to them, this is one that I tossed over to a Team Finley. It just, I know T Ryan can play some golf. If Finley puts him in some good places, he's better off with irons in his hands than he is driver for T Ryan. So, now we don't know much. I don't know much about Trumpet, but USAF is going to keep them in that match. So, in the end, I think it's going to be Finley, T Ryan 2-1.
I mean, it's a little bit of a precursor here. I mean, because USAF draws Finley in singles, and he draws them out of the gate in match 1. Yeah. So I do think, I think that Team Finley expects a point here. And if they don't get one, watch out. Okay, because that first, if they don't get this point, it could get late early, maybe. Illiterate, thoughts on this match?
I like Team Finley here, and no disrespect, but I don't think this one's going to be very close. I like 6-5, 5-4 range, and I think it's just a precursor to singles day. So just go ahead and mark Finley down for 2 points there.
Oh. Wow. You know what? I do respect the fact that Illiterate's willing to come on here, and not only does he give picks, he gives exact numbers, 6 and 5. Okay, boom. I like Team Finley in this match. I do think that if because we don't know a whole lot about Trumpet, we haven't seen him on this stage. And a lot of times when I'm doing this, rookies come in a couple of different formats, right? Like we've seen a lot of rookies wilt in the heat, but for every wilter in the heat, you see, a Buck Nasty show up at a Morgan Cup and go 4-0, right? As an event rookie. So like you could have it either way. I mean, I saw a rookie in the last thing I played in. It was the greatest 16 I ever saw in my life. Okay, so that could happen. Match 2. Okay. Now look, I mean, he's been scary in these spots. Josh has in these shamble spots, right? So Josh goes out with Outlaw X. By the way, if you're watching at home, Team Finley's listed first. They go out against Austin and Scratch Golf Journey. Here's the very like stocky, like low high pairing that they throw. That Team Tudor goes out there here. I did make. I like the low highs here. Usually in these spots in the shamble format, I made Austin and Scratch Golf Journey a huge favorite here, -250. Injury report on Josh had me spooked, and they're back at +200. I'll start with a littered on this match. Thoughts here?
Man, this is an interesting one because you look at JB coming in at a 10, roughly just under a 10, and then Outlaw X is coming in just under 24. I mean, they're going to get some pops here in this format. And I think if they can get off the tee and hit some greens, I think that they could be dangerous here. I think this one's going to be close, but I really like AT and Scratch Golf Journey, especially now that Scratch Golf Journey's got his own bag, here with him. So he's going to have the comfort of that. Because earlier when I read about that, we thought the bag was still in Orlando, whatever. We're in a much better spot now. So give me Team Tudor here, 2-1.
Yeah,
Matt.
I know you look at this. Josh is going to play. He always plays. He cannot play the game for 6 months and pick up a club and just go out there and play. He's a gamer. They're going to get pops there, but I'm still in the boat on this one. I may lose my my gate code to the bougie neighborhood, but I'll roll with it. And this one, AT Austin's going to come to play in. I can't let Scratch Golfer have the best hair on this one, so.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, let's do it.
I mean, I think
2-1.
2-1, right? I do like Team Tudor and here slight. Maybe 2-1, 3-1. Maybe it goes all the way to the end. I think that sometimes it takes Josh a little while to warm, especially if he's not going to hit balls. He's not a grinder by very nature anyway. Usually he can just walk out there, takes him a couple holes to find his way, and then he'll get it going. But I will say this, I think that Team Tudor absolutely needs this match because I don't like them in that first match. And so the inverse of what I just said a minute ago, if it doesn't go their way and then something happened and chalk held up in that first match, then you're looking at a 2-0 hole going into alt shot, and you don't want to be there. Absolutely don't want to be there. Match 3.
Matt, are you drinking Bud Light?
No, not today.
Don't start. Let me finish. Okay? Don't start with that. Trying to gaslight me on my own show. Okay. Match 3. We flip to the alternate shot here. Josh and Finley. They go out against Trumpet and Scratch Golf Journey. Josh and Finley are huge favorites here. -250. The comeback on Trumpet and Scratch Golf Journey actually supposed to be +200, but it's on the screen as +150. Yeah, I'll start here. They went out together in the last Goat Cup in alt shot and cruised. Okay, I think they won 3-1, but it shouldn't even have been that close. like one of those deals. Like like the match was never in danger of them losing. They just sort of like let the other team sort of hang around. Like the other team had alligator blood and they were having a hard time getting rid of them, but it was never in danger. I think that's the way this one kind of goes down, where maybe Trumpet and Scratch Golf Journey with the Kurt Cobain thing that he's got going on with his hair, and maybe he finds some magic somewhere. These are usually sprints to the end, though. It's a 9-hole match, probably on the front, more than likely. I don't think they get to play 8 here. So give me Josh and Finley. Matt.
We've seen this before. Unfortunately, I think, with just the two of them together, they know one another. They're coming in familiar with each other's games. Trumpet and Scratch and Golf, they played today together. I don't know if they incorporated any alt shot in that match, but I think it's going to be a runaway.
You think it's a runaway?
JB.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a runaway too. What do you, I mean? I said like 3, like never in doubt, but 3-1. I mean, are you giving us a number here? Because I know a litter it's going to be like 6-5.
5th hole. That'd be over.
5th hole. Okay.
Yeah.
Illiterate, thoughts on this match?
I mean, I think it's a tough spot to put your 2 high handicaps in alt shot format together. And again, I mean, no disrespect saying that, but you're going up against, JB, who hasn't missed a fairway since the first Gulf War, and then you have Finley. I mean, this does not set up well at all for Team Tudor. I like 4 and 3 for JB and Finley.
I'm usually more of an advocate of the Papapalooza, right? Like if you've watched any of these shows, even if you watch the way that I've made pairings before, especially at the Rivalry, I do like throwing a pop 'em and drop 'em out there. I don't like throwing a pop 'em and drop 'em against these 2 cold-blooded killers. Okay, like they're not gonna sweat they're not sweating pops. In fact, they faded a Papapalooza pairing over an 18-hole match last year. I think they absolutely get it done in this one. We'll go to match 4. Very interesting match in this stanza, because what Team Tudor does here is that they throw the pop 'em and drop 'em so they could throw this pairing out in the last match of the day. So T-Ron goes out. Well, it's sort of kind of like they both did. They sort of inverse situation going on there. Like T-Ron and Outlaw X go out against the 2 highs, go out against Austin and USAF. God, they need this match. Like Team Tudor probably needs this match here in this spot. So they're going to take these 2 cats. We're going to go out there, go get us a point. I like the idea in theory, but the way that Team Finley countered this is very interesting, because we have 2 very similar type matches going off here. Illiterate, what are your thoughts on this one?
It's, I mean, similar to to that first alt shot match. You've got your 2 lows coming out here with Austin Tudor and USAF against the 2 highs from Team Finley. And, I think it's going to be similar, 4 and 3 type beatdown here with the alt shot. Alt shot just is not kind to your higher handicap, especially coming in there against a couple of lows for sure.
Matt?
Puts a lot on those high handicaps. I have to agree with Illiterate there. I think, both captains are looking to try to steal one here with these pairings of high handicap together. But again, I think it's going to be Austin and USAF.
It's very chalky what they did in alt shot, but I mean, it is a 9-hole match. It is a sprint to the finish. And if somehow, T-Ron puts together a good stretch, and then Outlaw X, somehow takes his horse to the Old Town Road, and before you know it, they're in this thing. They could steal a point. This is the reason that you throw the pop 'em and drop 'em out there, is to sort of get in one of these like mud fights, and then all of a sudden, boom, someone makes a putt on 9, and you stole one.
I think
very interesting.
It's going to be key. They play front or back too. We know, just from just visualization, looking at it on paper, the front's easier. If you go to the back, If it gets
I don't think they see 8 and 9 if they play the front either match.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I
Okay.
think if you get to
Look.
the back,
I'm
you got
just
you're hitting some
trying to
pop.
sort of.
So,
I'm just trying to will this, sort of T-Ron and this. I
Dax is
don't
creating
like
a
them.
storyline for us.
Right, I'm trying to. Let's get to singles. I mean, look, if you follow chalk here, if chalk holds up, it should be 2-2, in my opinion, at the end
Yep.
of day one. And so we then we get to grab our popcorn, clear your calendar, set your team's thing to do not disturb, because when we get to singles, it could be on, and I think this is what's going to happen. Let's start with match 5. It's the singles day, 100% handicapped here. Josh goes out against Trumpet. Josh is, probably, I don't know what the course adjusted. Somewhere, he's going to lay somewhere between 5 and 6 here in this spot.
Yeah.
I made Josh minus 220. The comeback on Trumpet is plus 180. Matt, I will start with you. What are your thoughts on this one?
really on the spot again. Damn. Man, I don't like this rookie spot. Oh, we got the comments from the peanut gallery out there. Who's
Right.
using wind grips and whatnot. I think this could all come down to how day one bodes for Josh. He's got 27 holes, just having, what most would say minor surgery. For others, it's just maybe a filling, but I don't know. I think it's gonna come down to how he feels on day two. Trumpet's getting some pops. We don't know what Trumpet's going to do. He may, come out there and play. I think it's going to be a close one. I don't think it's going to be a runaway, but I think JB pulls this one out.
Does Arbor Links have steam showers?
With towels on the bench?
Not the bench. We've already discussed the bench. We're not talking about what bench etiquette. I'm just asking if they have sort of the same. Do they have the same bathroom setup as Ballyhack? Because if they do, it will help Josh's recovery as he's gone through 27 holes. But I don't think that, like, if you look at some of these matches, Josh is going to go immediately into power save mode. Okay, he's not planning on, like, we're acting like he's going to play a full 27. Is he going to play a full 27? I mean, he's paired with Finley in the alt shot. That may end early, right? The Shamble thing may not go all the way. He's not going back. Josh is not the kind of cat that just goes back to the range to hit a small bucket, right? He's going to conserve his energy, go into power save mode. He's going to be ready for this right here. Illiterate, what are your thoughts on this match?
So I have a question. I mean, if we have the steam showers, I mean, how many strokes is that worth to JB here? If we got steam showers.
Standard kind of is based on the chat.
All right.
I mean,
so
look,
no
they don't. I think Josh just said that they don't have steam showers, but I do think that the steam showers at Ballyhack are worth at least 3 strokes. Okay, the next time. I do. I think so.
All right.
What do you think?
I mean, if Josh is really injured, whatever. I mean, but he's such a gamer, man. He doesn't miss fairways. He's always in the holes. And, again, I don't know much about Trumpet's game other than he plays wind grip. So I feel like I just have to lean JB here, and I like JB 3 and 2.
Matt, did you you like Jay? I like Josh too. I'm sorry, Trumpet. Like, I just can't get over the wind grip thing. I really can't. And there's just, I mean, not that I don't like your gear. I really do. I like the rest of the bag, but like, I'm like, ugh, on the grips, and you're going against a killer. I don't think that Josh having to fade 5, maybe 6 is going to be that hard for him to do. That's why I made him such a big favorite. Let's move to the marquee match, because this may be the key match of the entire Goat Cup. Match 6. Our favorite destroyer of dreams. Jason Finley goes out against USAF retired. With the oscillating in USAF's handicap, Finley's, maybe he's just laying 1. Maybe it's 2 course adjusted. I've got a lot to say, so I'll end here. I will start with illiterate.
I mean, I said this earlier, and I see that our man USAF is in the chat, and he is fired up. Like he's we're definitely giving him bulletin board material, but we know how that goes. It's going to go one of two ways. Either you're going to show up and you're going to play really, really good, or you're going to put so much pressure on yourself to try to perform against this giant in Findlay, and you could flop. And I hope that you perform, but I think the beatdown from Shamble is going to be in his head. And he's going to push so hard to try to win this singles match that's just not going to happen. I think it's another 6-5 for Findlay here. And then we just need a half point to win this thing.
Captain Mmaynard, thoughts on this one? You want to say anything about your nemesis come December? Or you want to skip this so you don't
Well, no, I
upset
want
him?
to, yeah, like I told USAF, I said, he's ready to go. He's not backing down from, facing Darth Findlay. I mean, you know what? When you hear that, you're like, man, I don't know if I want to play him. I know you asked to play him, but
I did.
some people just don't. They don't want to play him. USAF is right there. He's ready. But like I told USAF, I said, if you beat Findlay, he's going to be coming for the next THP where he plays, and that could be me in December. I don't know if I want that. So I think I think it's gonna be an even match for the most part, but it's gonna come down to it's gonna go to those last four holes. You look at number 2 handicap, number 8 handicap, number 4, number 10. It's gonna come down to those. So we're not gonna see a pop be given on those last holes. So it's gonna be straight up. I think it comes down to Finley pulling this one out in a close one, but this doesn't discount USAF because I think he's going to be ready to play. So I'm just going to go tie.
Thank you. I thought that we ended that when Dan is not here. Here's what I have to say. I mean, I think that there is. I've sensed Hackers World Order, baby. I sensed something coming here. But I think that he's got to get his mind right, okay? Like I feel some tightness, some slight puckering. I think that I think you're looking at it a little bit wrong if you're watching. I think that this is an opportunity, right? If you go out there and beat somebody like a TTU cliffhanger, no one's going to remember that, okay? If you go out there and beat somebody like a Jason Finley, you become a legend. You have a chance to kill a legend, and that's what you have to think about. What happens if you don't? Okay, you're on the scrap heap with the rest of us that have grabbed their time card and tried to clock in and beat this guy and weren't able to do it. Like, hell, T-Ron's on the other end. He grabbed his time card in a lunch pail. He clocked in twice and couldn't get it done. Okay, only 2 people have beat him. Maddie had to go all the way to 18 and won 1 up, and Jeremy somehow caught him when he supposedly had some sort of mystery illness and beat him 6-5 after getting an IV or something. Okay, but here's how you have to look at it. Your floor is not very bad, right? So your first goal is you're probably not going to lose worse than I did. Okay, so don't lose 8-6, right? Then your ceiling is astronomically high here because you have a chance to kill a legend, and it's very limited downside if you don't. So let's clear the mechanism. Let's get rid of all the angst, right? And just go out there and beat him. That's sort of my hype video for you. I think you can get it done. That's why there is a little bit of a discount in the Finley number there. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes either way. Match 7. Whew. If it goes chalk here, yeah, they're gonna need Team Tudor needs this match. Freaking-lutely. They catch T-Ron. He's gonna go out against Alston. There is an avalanche of pops. An avalanche of pops here. Matt, thoughts here? Stick versus mid, and a mid could get hot, right?
He could. I think it's going to be dangling from some coattails most of that match, though. No, you just look at it. Even though there's pops being laid here, I don't think is it T Ryan or T Ryan? Everyone says T Ryan in the chat, but I think it's going to be AT.
AT. Illiterate thoughts on this one?
6-5.
I mean, our man Austin's got a fade, probably like 15 pops, right?
Yeah.
But
well, yeah.
he's just so damn good. Give me Austin Tudor. I think it's going to be close. I like it 3-2.
You know what? I like Austin here, but I think it's close, dude. Like it is a lot. It is a lot of pops to fade here. Like I don't know what the course adjusted. It's going to be at least 15, maybe 16. There's only a couple holes there where he's not going to pop. T-Ron's not going to pop, right? And even if the lower handicap is playing extremely well, there becomes this sort of like irritation that they can't get. I mean, T-Ron could go out there and 5-net 4 this guy to death, okay, and just irritate him, and then finally get to the very end. He will pop on every hole. If he can get the match to 15 in, he's going to pop coming in, okay? So I'm not saying that he doesn't have a chance. I think he has a puncher's chance at this. He just has to keep the ball in front of him, take advantage of his strokes. Don't pay attention to what Austin's doing. You don't play the same game as him, okay? You play your game and try to get this thing to go to the end in that final 4-hole stretch, and you may be able to steal this point for Team Finley. The last match of the day. I love these, man. Outlaw X against Scratch Golf Journey. It's one of these deals where I think Scratch Golf's going to lay 3, maybe 4 in the spot. The two highs go out there at the end to sort of duke it out. And sometimes these are the funnest matches. I mean, there was a match involving Pat's Fan at one point, and a 2 high was like Pat's Fan versus Buck Nasty. That was just a great match back in the day with the 220 cap just duking it out. Captain Mmaynard, what are your thoughts on this one?
I just want to know, did Outlaw make it? I mean, he's been like touring across the United States to get to this place in Nebraska. So he maybe wore out from the travel, but I think this match is going to decide who wins the Goat Cup. This one is going to decide who wins the Goat Cup. And like I said from the beginning, I like my man's Scratch Golf Journey. He's the hair. It's I wish I could still rock the hair, but it's been gone for quite some time. When I actually first seen him swinging, I'm like, man, Team 2's got Kid Rock on their team. He's coming to play. He's coming to roll that rock this week. He's been putting in the practice. I think he's ready for this one. It's gonna be close. But... Do you think
are y'all troubled that his tee club is a 5-wood? That we're not carrying. Okay, we're not troubled there at all.
Not at all.
Like I don't think it's that big of a deal in Shamble, and probably not that big of a deal in Alt Shot. But here you're playing 18 holes, playing your own ball. I've seen before he starts giving me the P average. I get that the P average somewhere he's hitting it like 239 or whatever is his performance average thanks to Shot Scope, which is a phenomenal product, X5. But neither of y'all think that that's a big deal.
Now you look at some of these holes. Look at some of these holes. There's a lot where you can pull driver off. So I think this sets up well for him. But no driver in the bag.
Okay. Illiterate thoughts on this match?
I mean, here's the thing. Scratch Golf Journey is going to have the advantage of having Austin, in the same card as him, helping him, So I like that big time. You talked about the travel with Outlaw, and I think Scratch Golf Journey here is only going to lay maybe 4 or 5 pops, and I like it. I don't think this is going to be a tie. I think Scratch Golf Journey is going to pull this out. I like 2-1. It's going to be close. It's going to come down to the wire, and we're going to have a tie for the Goat Cup.
Oh, so let's get I think this match decides the Goat Cup, by the way. If chalk holds up, there could be a tie, but I think there's going to be an upset somewhere in there. I don't think that last year's ended in a 4-4 tie. So let's get to predictions as we bring this thing home. Illiterate, are you on? I was going to go to you first because you already started your spill. Who do you think is going to win or tie, and why?
I don't think we're going to have a tie. I do think someone's going to win. I think you're right. We're going to see some sort of an upset somewhere. And I do think that last match could be just a total wild card. And I think, the two guys that are playing with those two, it's going to be a very fun match to watch coming down the stretch with all the pressure, the GOAT Cup, the ring on the line. And I think Team Finley somehow gets it done. Give me, 5-3.
Team Finley is your pick.
Team Finley.
Okay. Matt. Captain Mmaynard, sorry.
Okay. So, yeah, I think, it's going to come down. It's going to be close. It's not going to be a blowout by any means. It's not going to be more than 1 point, 2 points that's going to win this thing. I think it's going to be a half point when it comes down to it. You kind of look at day one. I think we're going to see it. It's going to be a tie after the first day. It's going to come down to those singles match. Like I mentioned, I think it's going to, there's two matches that kind of stick out to me that could decide this. Is one, that Jason Finley USAF match, as well as the Outlaw. If we see a tie in that match 2 on singles day, it's going to be scratch golf Journey pulling out the win, giving Team Tudor a win.
So what is your pick? Team Tudor is your pick.
Yeah, and from day one.
Oh man.
Day one.
Okay, I mean, I made Team Tudor the favorite, but that doesn't mean that is usually what I pick. Historically speaking, besides last year, when Finley, he normally peaks come December, but this is May. Okay, in his warm-up sessions, when he has appeared before the Granddaddy, he hasn't historically played like lights out. Okay, and I do think that in order for them to win, he is going to need to play lights out. I think it's very, very close. I do think it comes down to potentially the last match, and I like Scratch Golf Journey in that last match. Okay, so that is my pick. I will take Team Tudor very, very, very close. 4.5 points wins the GOAT Cup. So, any final thoughts? Anyone?
It's gonna be a fun week. I mean, the steam showers. I think that's a negative for Team JB or Team Finley, excuse me. But yeah, it's gonna be a great week. Callaway always puts on for these guys. In all the events they're gonna bring it. THPers always bring it. It's gonna be a fun follow, and I'm excited to follow along this week. It's gonna be a good couple days.
Captain Mmaynard, any final thoughts?
I'm looking forward to this one. It's going to be the first time that the THP universe gets to see this course, Arbor Links, and I think it's no better place for what we're going to see. Team Callaway is going to be, they put on a show for us all the time, so that's something always fun to watch. But I think it's going to be a great battle between these two teams.
Callaway always is top notch, right? The whole thing's top notch. THP Universe going to be watching along. Callaway Golf top notch. Dormy Club, Arbor Links. It's going to be a fun follow. I'm changing my. You know what? I can't do it. I can't leave this. I'm changing my pick. Give me Finley. Give me death taxes and Finley. I'm changing my pick. It's on that last. God, it is on that last match though. Maybe we have underestimated Outlaw X. He's going to take his horse to the Old Town Road, right past the silo, win the last match, and then Team Finley wins this thing 4.5 points. That's what I got. So, for Illiterate, for Captain Mmaynard, this has been J-Dax, and we are out.